So today's lesson is on gears. There we go. Simple versus compound gear. Sorry guys, I was on. It takes me a minute to get my brain working. So if we look real quick, talking about simple gears. A simple gear would be like this. There's a small gear, and it has a certain amount of teeth on it. Let's say it's 8 teeth. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teeth. And it's meshed with a larger gear, let's say. And we'll say that this one is a 16-tooth gear. Okay. That means that this one, just to let you know, the gear ratio is 8 to 16, or we would call that a 1 to 2. Okay. In other words, this spins once. So this, or I guess that would be a 1 to 2. What that means is this is going to spin 2 times for every time this spins once. So you're going to go rotate once, twice, and then this will finally make its way around because this has 16 teeth on it. If I could draw 16 teeth, I don't want to take my time. On a simple gear train, though, I want you to know, and this is important, if I take an 8-tooth gear, just like here, and I add a 12-tooth gear, and then maybe a 6-tooth gear, and then an 8-tooth gear, and then a 25-tooth gear, and then a 16-tooth gear. What I want you to know is that even if I just did this, by the way, if I did all that, or if I just did this, an 8-tooth gear, a 12-tooth gear, and a 16-tooth gear. This one in the middle right here, that's called an idle gear. And it rotates, sure does, but it doesn't change the ratio between this and this. This is our driven gear, or sorry, this is the drive gear. This is the one that we're driving everything, and this is the one that gets driven, okay? You can call this the input, and this is the output, whatever you want to call it. This idle gear gets rotated, but the gear ratio is still, all we do is look at this and this. Same thing here. This, those are idle gears. Idle gears. So this is the one we're spinning. This is the one that gets spun. And the gear ratio here is still 1 to 2. This will spin twice, and then this last one will spin 1 time. Same as this. Same as that one. Same as that one, same as that one. So the question is, you might want to know is, hey, then why do we even add an idle gear? They don't do anything, right? I mean, actually, technically, they are spinning, of course, and they do spin at different rates. This one's going to spin really slow, and this one's going to spin a little faster, and so on. But they don't do anything to the end. To the end, when this spins twice, this still spins once. All these idle gears don't do anything as far as like speeding that up. So why do we do it? Well, 2 reasons I can think of. One is that I just need more distance here. I'm spinning here, but the wheel's way back here that I need to turn, so I just need to put space, right? Now, in real life, in a bike, you would just put a chain. Okay, why would you put all these gears? So we just put a chain, okay? But let's say you don't have a chain. You could put a bunch of gears just to make that happen because you need more space. But you could have just put a chain. The other reason is maybe it's not space. The other reason might be is this. These gears might be spinning other things. That might be. The other reason is that, and here's one of the main reasons I can think of, especially this setup right here, is that if you have your 8-tooth gear and it's rotating this way, and then you put your 12-tooth gear here, it's going to spin this way, and then your 16-tooth gear is going to spin this way. They always counter-rotate. So it may be that you're like, hey, I put this idle gear here because when I spin this way, like that, going this way, I want this one to go the exact same way. And to do that, I would need to put an idle gear so it can counter-rotate against it. So maybe that's why. But this is called simple gear train, and I want you guys to know that no matter how many gears you put, these don't do anything It's the input and the output, that's all that matters, okay? Because this is a simple gear train. Now let's go to something else. New, no, I don't want to save that. Let's go to a compound gear train. Now you can start, now they actually all work. So watch this. Let's say I have my 8 tooth, okay? Let's go 18. That's why not. Let's do 8. Let's pretend I only have 8 and 16s then, okay? So I have 16 tooth gears and I have 8 tooth gears. All right, here we go. I'm going to take a 16 and I'm going to attach it to this 8, a smaller one. When this spins one time, this one will spin twice, okay? Kind of the opposite as last time. And that's kind of cool. Now, what if there's an axis on this, right? Like a little pole that goes through here, right? That spins. What if on that same pole I attach a 16 tooth gear? So there's a 16 tooth gear here. That means that these two always spin the same rate. So when this one spins once, this one spins twice, but this one spins twice because it's attached to this one. So this one's spinning twice as fast. If I attach an 8 tooth here and another 16 here, then this one spinning super fast is going to spin this one even faster, whoop, 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 and then this one's even just faster. So now it's called compounding. Compounding requires gears on top of other gears. So you'd have this gear, and you would have another gear on top of that one right here, you know? And then that one attaches, maybe touching here to there, and this one has a line, and there's another gear underneath that. So that brings us to here. That brings us to this site. So this is your homework. You're going to create me a simple gear train, and it's a little complicated but not too crazy. So let's keep the speed at 6. Got it? So 6. So what does that look like? Start. That's how many times it rotates per minute. Okay? So this thing's going to rotate 6 times. It hasn't even rotated once. Here we go, and there. It's going to do 6 of those per minute. Okay, that's its speed right now. Okay, stop it. Now if you want to add a new gear, just click new, and it'll be mated automatically. Okay? Now, I'm going to do a simple gear train, and so you can change the number of teeth. By the way, you can select your gears here. You're supposed to be able to click on them like this too, but sometimes that gets a little glitchy, so it works a lot better here. So if you want to change the size, you can right here. So we can go here, number of teeth, and go bigger. That's a 15 tooth. And if I want to add another gear, we can. By the way, you can change the angle at which they're connected right here. If you're running out of room, you know. By the way, if you're also running out of room, the other thing you can do is this. So pay attention to this one. You can go here and change the scale. Whoop, that's too close. So you can go here like that. So for now, we'll keep it like this. And it doesn't really matter the angle at which you attach it. It's all the same, by the way. So don't worry about that. Sometimes I just change the angle to make it more compact so it's not spread out. But if you want to keep them all like that, that's totally okay as well. Now, if I make this one super big, so let's go here, number of teeth. Let's make this one really big. And now I'm gonna change my scale because I can't see it. And so how big is this one? This one was 10 teeth, right? So I'm gonna go here. Don't click here. If you add a new one, it's gonna put it in between these two. So click here. I'm gonna add one here. So I'm gonna click add a new gear. And how many teeth does that have? Let's go 10. Okay. Now I want you guys to note something. That when this one spins once, this one spins once. Now watch this. I'm going to stop. Doesn't matter how many gears I add though. Let's go here. Let's add that one. I did not mean to do that. How do I do this? Let's delete this one off. Delete, remove. There we go. I was just going to shrink this one down is what I wanted to do. Look at that little 4-tooth gear. This thing's going to spin like crazy, that little guy. So let's make this one a 15. A 15. Let's make this one a 15. And I don't know what that is here. I'm just playing with different stuff here. Scale per pixel, connection angle. Alright, here we go. Start. Notice this one's spinning very quickly. This one spins really slow. Look at that. Follow my mouse, it's going really slow. But this one is going the same speed as this one. So that's just the way it is, because this is a compound gear. It does tell you the RPM though right here next to it. So please note that the first one, what is the RPM right here? It says RPM 6. The next one is 18, 3 times faster. Why is it 3 times faster? Well, that's because this one is 15 teeth and this one is 5 teeth. So it's 3 times smaller. So it's going to be 3 times faster. Then this one is 2.9 RPM, so much slower than the 6, almost half. In fact, if you want it to be exactly half, we can make it double the teeth. So right now it has 31 teeth. It had 30. Now we're going to change it to 30. Start it. Now, notice the RPM is 18 on the small guy, which is 3 times more than this one. This one is half. Its RPM is 3, it says here, which is half of this one. But here's the big finale right here. This is what I want to show you guys, is that this last one, the output gear, the RPM is 6. The last one, its RPM is 6. It's the same. Why? Because they're the same size. So what really matters is this one compared to this one. That's it. How big is this one and how big is that one? And that's how fast these two will spin. It doesn't really matter about these middle ones. So for example, if I change that last one, I change the number of teeth, let's say to bigger. Now notice the more teeth it has, the slower it goes. So notice it's going very slow now. Look how slow it is. Look at the dot. I'm putting it with my mouse. It's very, very slow. This one's going way faster. And you can tell, it says right here, that the RPM of that last one is 2.05. So the gear ratio of this whole machine is simply this one compared to that one. These are just idle gears. Now let's do a compound gear. First off, I want you to know that when you first go to the website, it might have cool like planetary gears and stuff like that. Just select them and you can just remove. You can also just say reset the animation, I think, or no, clear gears like that. Clear gears, and that clears everything. So let's do compound. First off, I'm going to need to zoom out here a little bit. There we go. And let's start with a big one. So let's make this let's say 20, let's go 20 gears, or 20 teeth. So it's got 20 teeth on it. Let's add one. Okay. And let's make this one small. Let's make it like 5. That's really small. So if you look at it, this guy's spinning fast, right? Stop. Now, we're going to add a gear. So we're going to make a compound one. Add a gear. That's not compound. How do I make this compound? You add it, then click axle connection. Now, this gear is connected to that little one. But remember that this one right here, is driving this little guy right there. That little one's going to spin fast. We saw that. It's attached to this one, which is also really fast. So this one's going to be spinning fast, and we're going to make it big. We're going to make it 20, just like this one is 20 right here as well. So we're going to make it 20. So this is what it will look like now. Now, this one's spinning really fast. Why? Because it's attached to the little tiny guy, which is spinning fast because it's tiny compared to this one. Okay, so let's keep going. So now I'm on this big one spinning super fast, right? Let's add a gear and let's make it tiny. Because remember, if it's small compared to this one, it's going to go faster. So let's make it 5 again. And then let's add a gear. And then I'm going to attach this gear onto that one, so we're going to click axle connection. Remember, you can pause this video. I'm recording this right now, so you can pause this video anytime you want. And let's make this one big. Now, watch this. It's going crazy. Look at that. It's like glitching out almost. Let me stop this and let's slow this down to like 2 RPMs. Let's stop it. Let's change it to 1 RPM. So this first one right here, I'm going to 1 RPM. Look at that. By the way, if you're wondering how I got this dark theme, I just went way here to the bottom somewhere. And it normally looks like this, like a blueprint paper. And I switched it to dark theme. I just think it looked nicer. So here we go. Look how fast this one's going. It's going really slow. And it's spinning this little guy right there, the blue one right there. It's spinning it. It's attached to this one. So these two right here will have the same RPM. Notice they do. It's 4 and 4. Notice that? 4 and 4. It says right here on the little, where my mouse is. Now, this big one going 4 RPM is attached to this little tiny guy, and it's spinning this little tiny guy really fast, but it's attached directly to this one. So if you want to keep going, you could, and you'll probably just crash this whole thing. I don't even know what would happen if how long we keep going. And let's make this one 5 teeth. 5 teeth if we want to keep going exaggerated, right? 5 teeth. And then we're going to add a gear to it, and we're going to axle connect it and make it big. Oh, let's just exaggerate this thing. It's going really fast. And then we could add a gear, and look at that thing going crazy. And then we can add another gear and axle connect it and make it bigger. This is going insane. The RPMs right now are 2,360. Oh, no, sorry, 236 RPM. This is going 236 rotations per minute. This one is only rotating 1 time. This blue one right here is rotating 1 time per minute. But these are going 236 times per minute. But I want you to let you know that just like all simple machines, this comes at a cost. This thing right here, you can touch it with your hand and stop it really easy. There's no torque. So most of the time in like a drill, so if you have a drill at your house, right, and you're like going to drill a wall, the motor is attached to this one, and the motor is going zzz, really fast over here on this blue one right here, really fast. And it's spinning, going really loud. And the end is coming out slow, but super strong. You can't stop it. It's coming, it's turning, and you can't stop it. I actually have something like that. It's made out of plastic. I took it out of a weird printer or something, or a Xerox machine, and you could hear the motor going, and that last thing is rotating so slow, but you cannot stop it. You can connect it to a cheap little 9-volt battery, and you could try to stop it from moving, and you can't. It just keeps going. It'll like hurt your hand. So it depends which way you're going. Do you want to turn really slow and the end come out really fast? But man, it's going to be hard to turn this, I'll be honest with you. Or do you want to turn something very fast and the end goes slower, but it's really strong and hard to stop? Like if you try to stop this one with your hand right here, so this one where my mouse, I'm blinking the blue light on here. If you try to stop this one, try to stop this, you won't be able to. There's no way. There's so much speed and momentum behind all these rotating things that it would be almost impossible to stop. So your homework for the day is actually quite easy though. It says just to create both. So I'm not going to make you calculate anything today. It just says create a simple gear train and a compound gear train and take a picture or a screenshot of each. Take a picture with your phone or a screenshot, whatever you want. You may make both of them using your plastic gears in your kit. If you want to try to figure out how to make them in your kit, that's fine. Or you can do it on the website like I did, which is kind of fun too. So either one is totally okay.